everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. And today we are talking about Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, episode 26, the grand finale, New Mission. Before we kick things off though, as always, I want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter, namely at Kisasan98, at Urinary1, and at Girl Kuwaiti. Thanks for sharing last week's video, and thanks to all of you who have shared the videos over the course of Demon Slayer. It is so appreciated. I'm kind of surprised that it's over. I don't know why. It's just weird knowing that the next week there's not going to be another episode of Demon Slayer. I feel like it's been, I don't know, it's been a trip. It's sort of the same feeling I had with Fruits Basket, where I'm just not sure what to really make of it. The show aired at the same time that I kind of really started taking the channel seriously, so it's sort of bittersweet to see it go. That said though, we do have to dig into this week's episode, and I got a bunch of things I want to talk about. Namely, we got to talk about the results of our trio's training, we got to talk about the train arc itself, the build-up for next season, although I guess it's not necessarily next season, more like the next movie. We'll get into that towards the end of the video. But yeah, the build-up for the train arc and Muzan's place. We're gonna save that for last, because oh my god. Let's go ahead and start simple. You know, let's start casual. Let's start with the results of our trio's training. And we see that they have finally been given the okay, they are good to head back into combat, and it's not just Tanjiro on his own, thank goodness. I was worried it would just be like Tanjiro meeting up with, I believe his name is Rengoku. And I was like, no, I want the whole trio. I'm used to them as a trio now. You can't separate them now. It's been too long. You can't do that to me, show. And thankfully, they don't. The trio does, in fact, stick together. The whole trio is sent to take a look at the Infinite Train, I believe they called it, an incident where people have been going missing on a train. But again, we will talk about the train arc in a second. I want to talk about the results of the training first. I can't seem to stick on to like a specific topic. I'm just all over the place in this video. How that differs from any other video I've made is, you know, up to you. But I do want to talk about the brief reunion as well as and the super solid farewells, which sort of broke my heart. But let's go ahead and talk about the very brief reunion in the aftermath of the group's training. We see that guy from the exam, the final exam, and he is like a big dude now. Like when I say like he's a big dude, I mean like dude got swole and somehow taller in the span of like what, maybe a couple months. It was like, I mean, yes, people grow, especially when they're in their teens like these guys are, but I mean like that's intense stuff. That dude got big. But as for the farewells, it was genuinely some solid stuff, and I didn't realize how much I'd care about them over the course of what is basically just post another arc. Like this wasn't even like a training arc in between big arcs like in something like My Hero. This was a straight up recovery arc with the group. Like, yeah, there was training, but it was mostly rehabilitation as opposed to training. So to see that I actually grew so attached to the characters who were helping nursing the main cast back to full health, I was genuinely surprised. For example, Aoi. I was genuinely kind of upset that we had to say goodbye to that character. I didn't realize how much I actually cared when she especially when she gives her backstory of the fact that she did pass the final exam, but it was because she got lucky and she was too scared to ever go back into combat, so it was there that she stayed, and she just never could manage to go back out there. And so she felt like she didn't that she didn't need Tanjiro to feel like she didn't need Tanjiro to feel bad for saying goodbye to her, but he's like, no, it's not like that. And just the fact that Tanjiro is immediately like, that doesn't make you, like, you're not cowardly. Like, you, and I appreciate the help that you gave to us. Like, you helped us get better. You're helping us get back out there. Everybody's helping in their own way. And Aoi is obviously moved by just how friggin' sweet Tanjiro is, because he's the sweetest boy on the whole friggin' planet. My son, my precious son. But, the big one, and this is huge, right, is, okay, we knew this was gonna happen. This was just bound to happen. I don't know why I'm even fighting it at this point, but oh no, I ship it like FedEx. I knew that it was just a matter of time before I started shipping Tanjiro and Kano, and Yeah, this scene totally friggin' cements that ship now, doesn't it? I guess we can all just agree that the ship is definitely gonna sail. Now, will it have cannons on that ship? I don't know, but I hope so. But if not, that's fine. I have many ships that don't have cannons, and they fulfill me just as much. But that said, it feels like this one's gonna have cannons, because it really felt like the show was heavily pushing, like, no, like, she is interested, he is interested, like, it's a thing. They're gonna try to make each other better, they're gonna grow together. I can see it already, I can envision it. I'm sure manga fans are either cackling because they're like, oh, he right, or oh, he's wrong. I don't know which one it is, but I am like, whew, I am excited. I loved that whole scene, the whole scene of like the coin flip, and I loved the like, farewell, and he's like, no, but it like, oh, you spoke to me, that's great. Farewell. No, but that's great though, isn't it? Farewell. Like, Kano is friggin' adorable. I'm just a big fan already. I didn't think it was gonna be this fast that I was like Team Kano. But yeah, I'm Team Tanjiro and Kano. Like I ship it. It's a thing. It's a done deal. Like, the fact that when she flips the coin, right? And we remember the coin from the previous episode. The coin is what she uses to make decisions when there's no one around to give her orders. And she explains that again here to Tanjiro. But we see the coin flip and we're like, what is this coin flip about? And when she explains later, like, I flipped the coin to talk to you, heads I wouldn't, tails I would, and it was tails. And he's like, oh, okay, like, but really you're gonna decide stuff on a coin flip? That's kind of, you should follow your heart. And she's like, I don't do that. I listen to the coin. I need orders. And he's like, maybe the voice in your heart is tiny, which tells me, like, over the course of this show, Tanjiro, as well as probably the others as well, like, as she forms, like, new bonds and strengthens familiar and old bonds, she's probably gonna, like, that tiny voice in her heart is gonna grow, and she's gonna be more confident. And I like the simple, like, that's what this show excels in, is the simple character growth. Like it takes like the simple shonen-esque like character tropes, but like it just executes them in such a way that it's amplified to the extreme, and I love it, and it's done so well here. And it's such a shonen-y, like the protagonist is just such a good boy that he improves the lives of those around him, and he makes them want to be as confident and happy-go-lucky and confident as he is, and that is what we get in this scene. But damn it, it works. And yeah, I wish I could be more eloquent. I wish I was more like a super eye patch wolf than a JoJo talks too much, but alas, here I am, just totally not eloquent and not great with assembling words in such a way to make this scene more beautiful than it already is, but alas, I can only gush, and I friggin' adored this scene. And the trio even mastered their total concentration breathing technique, which I'm happy to see. Like, it wasn't just Tanjiro, it was all of them, which I was like, yeah, my boys. And yeah, I think they're in a good place going into the train arc, and let's go ahead and talk about the train arc build-up in this week's episode. Which, can I say, off the bat, I like trains.
I like trains.
Heck yeah, trains! I don't know what it is about trains. I adore trains. I don't know why. I always have. Any series that has like something to do with a train, odds are the train is gonna be my favorite part. I don't know why. Like Harry Potter, the train is my favorite part. Part 5, the train arc is my favorite arc. Very strange. It's not like I've been on many trains growing up or anything, and anytime I did, it would be really exciting. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, strange. I don't know why that is. But trains! I'm excited. A whole arc set on a train? Well, technically, it's gonna be a whole movie. So, but it's still an arc. But I'm like, yeah, man, a whole arc set on a train with Rengoku, like, who is the superhero of the Hashira. So this is gonna be good. And let's go ahead and talk about that, because Rengoku poses an interesting progression in the story, especially in Tanjiro's like personal narrative, since like Rengoku obviously is likely to have some kind of information on what that whole fire dance thing was and how Tanjiro tapped into it, how he can continue to tap into it, maybe how he can improve it. Maybe Rengoku will know where it came from, how his dad knew it, maybe he knows his dad. Interesting stuff, interesting concepts. I'm excited to see how that gets fleshed out. Also, Tanjiro and Inosuke seeing the train. That was funnier than it probably should have been. I adored that. I thought that was so friggin'... Because, like, of course, that's how they would react to it. At first, I thought it was only going to be Inosuke who's like, what the hell is that? It's a mystical beast. Like, what is this thing? It must be the one in charge around here. We gotta be real stealthy. We gotta be real careful around here, boys. And Zenitsu's like, what the hell is the matter with you? And then Tanjiro's like, yeah, but what if it's the deity around here? You can't go attacking deities. What's wrong with you? And Zenitsu's like, oh my god, my friends are idiots. But, like, yeah, of course they wouldn't know what the hell a train is. Inosuke's been living in the woods for God knows how long, probably his entire life. Like, how the hell would he know what a train is? And with Tanjiro, he's, like Zenitsu said, he was a quote-unquote country bumpkin. Like, of course he wouldn't know what the hell a train is. I mean, because, I'm assuming there's still, I can't remember what year it takes place in, and I feel stupid for not knowing, but I'm going to assume that trains relatively not common in, like, the more country-ish areas of Japan at the time. So, like, I forgive Tanjiro for not knowing what the hell a train is. And again, it made for, like, in an episode that did have a lot of funny in the beginning and a lot of funny at the end, this was probably my favorite of the comedic scenes. I thought it was great. And yet, as funny as the beginning of the episode was, and as funny as the end of the episode was, the middle of the episode was terrifying. Let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room for this whole video. Let's go ahead and discuss Muzan's hideout, because oh my gosh. I can understand now why they waited so long to show us this place. This was in the opening, and I was always like, where the hell is he? That must be. Now, when I saw it in the opening, I had assumed, like, the way that the Muzan was, like, set up on the backdrop of, like, this, like, crazy looking house, I guess you could call it, like this crazy looking manor. I assumed it was more for artistic intent in the OP, and it was the one thing in the OP we had never seen, so I had just assumed, like, since we're getting towards the end of the show, that must just be, like, artistic merit to show, like, that he's everywhere or something, I don't know. But, no, that manor twists and flips and it goes all over the friggin' place, and it's huge, and it seems vast and endless. It sort of seems like that, I can't remember the one demon who had control over that one house. Like, it sort of seems like that, but, like, amplified to the extreme. And the way it flipped and moved, and it was just jaw-dropping. These pictures, like these screenshots, are not gonna do it. If you haven't seen the episode yet, I don't know why you'd be watching this first, but there's no shot you're watching this without having seen that episode. Tell me it's not phenomenal. I can't get over how good that looked. I was in shock, but I was also, like, freaked the hell out, because it wasn't just the visuals, it was the sound. It was the sound design and the music. The music had these, like, overpowering, like, I would assume they were trumpets, just this loud blast of just sound in the soundtrack when Muzan appears, who, by the way, is looking fly as hell. Like the one guy didn't even know it was Muzan at first, and I was like, man, Muzan changing his appearance, like, Muzan looked like a lady, but man rocks it, man. Muzan is allowed to look like whatever the heck Muzan wants to look like. He was fabulous and scary at the exact same time, just like that whole friggin' scene. It was fabulous, but it was scary. Like, the sound design when, like, the flesh was getting ripped apart and that creepy arm thing, and then, like, the overpowering nature of the music. Like, it felt overpowering, which is absolutely the mood and tone that they were going for. You felt like those lower 12, like, you felt just how, like, overbearing Muzan is in a moment. Like, if you were in the room with him, his mere presence would actually weigh you down. He is such an imposing force, and the sound design and the music, everything in that scene perfectly captures that. Like, I can't stress, like, that scene is far and away the scariest, the most intimidating, and the most badass thing I have seen since episode 19. Like, Kimetsu no Yaiba, for as much as I've said that certain episodes are definitely not that great, certain episodes of the show are like C tier, this show also delivers some seriously S tier moments, and entire S tier episodes, which is an impressive feat. Now, I gotta say, this scene is probably one of my favorite scenes all season, and, like, well, at the very least, amongst a sea of many great moments this season. And, like, Man, it was just so cool. Now that said, everybody, as much as I would love to give it an S for that one moment alone, I am gonna give this week's episode a solid A tier. It perfectly sets, it's like the textbook example of how to nail a season finale, not a series finale, a season finale, because it wraps up the loose ends that it needs to wrap up while still leaving one loose thread. Well, yeah, one loose thread, just the train arc. Since the Muzan stuff leads into the train arc, they just leave one loose thread that's gonna pull you into many other loose threads by the time we get into the next season, or in this case, the next movie. But that's pretty much everything. It's a solid A tier finale. I am happy with it, but before we take off, as always, I have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier. Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Nye, Omni Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, and Veridon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then by all means go ahead and check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get over there, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. But on that note though, everybody, that is gonna be a video, so I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and if you did, you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't gonna tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated. And if you're feeling stressed out today, or you're a little bit emotionally compromised because there's gonna be no more Yaiba next week, then you go grab yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.